In the heart of Lagos, a city that pulses with relentless energy, our story begins with Damilola Cole, or Dami, as everyone calls him. At 23, with a fresh degree from a university in Houston and a sharp low-cut hairstyle, Dami was back in Nigeria. He was a Nigerian American, a blend of two worlds, now navigating the chaotic beauty of Lagos for his National Youth Service Corps, or NYSC. He'd landed what seemed like the perfect first job, a stepping stone into the corporate world he'd always dreamed of conquering. Dami's morning started with the distant hum of generators and the crowing of roosters, a stark contrast to the quiet suburban streets of Houston. He'd straighten his tie, look in the mirror, and practice his power pose. He was ready to innovate, to impress, to climb the ladder. His mind was a whirlwind of ideas, strategies learned from textbooks and case studies, all waiting to be unleashed. He saw himself as a young lion, eager to make his mark in the concrete jungle of Lagos. His office was in a sleek high-rise building in Victoria Island, a testament to modern Lagos. The view from the window was breathtaking, a sprawling panorama of the city, the lagoon glistening under the tropical sun. But the beautiful view was quickly overshadowed by the reality of his workplace. His boss, Mr. Adebayo, was a man from a different era, a portly man with a booming voice, who believed the old ways were the only ways. Dami's first few weeks were a cycle of enthusiastic proposals met with dismissive grunts. He'd present a detailed plan for digital marketing optimization, complete with analytics and projected ROIs. Mr. Adebayo would listen, tap his pen on the mahogany desk, and say, "Damilola, this is Lagos, not Houston. We have our methods." Those methods, Dami soon discovered, involved mountains of paperwork, endless meetings that went in circles, and a strict adherence to a hierarchy that stifled any form of creativity. The office culture was a minefield. His colleagues, mostly older, viewed his American accent and forward-thinking ideas with a mix of suspicion and amusement. They called him the Yankee. They'd watch him rush to meet deadlines, his brow furrowed in concentration, and they'd shake their heads, muttering about how this new generation was always in a hurry. Dami tried to connect, sharing stories about his life in Texas, but it only seemed to widen the gap. He felt like an outsider, a lone ship in a vast, indifferent ocean. The daily commute on the Third Mainland Bridge became his time for reflection. Stuck in the infamous Lagos traffic, surrounded by a symphony of honking horns and street vendors, Dami would stare out at the water. He saw the fishermen in their wooden canoes, casting their nets with a patience he couldn't yet understand. They worked together, a rhythmic dance of effort and hope. It was a world away from his sterile office, where collaboration was a buzzword, not a practice. One sweltering afternoon, frustration got the better of him. He had spent a week developing a new client management system, a simple software solution that would save the company hours of manual data entry. He presented it to Mr. Adebayo with a confident smile. His boss barely glanced at the screen. "We have used filing cabinets for 20 years, Damilola," he said, his voice laced with finality. "They have served us well." That was the breaking point. The words echoed in his mind. "I can't wait to sack my boss." It wasn't just about Mr. Adebayo. It was about sacking the old-fashioned mindset, the resistance to change, the fear of the new. Another blame. He didn't want to just quit his job. He wanted to build something of his own, something that would prove his ideas were not just computer games. He began to rack his brain and keep brainstorming on how to make use of the opportunity he saw, meeting new people and networking. Dami determined and planned to go somewhere he saw in an advert on the news one afternoon in the office. He said to himself, "I will like to visit Yaba Tech Hub this evening." That evening, Dami didn't go straight home. He went to a local tech hub in Yaba, the Silicon Valley of Lagos. The place was alive, buzzing with the energy he craved. Young men and women, just like him, were hunched over laptops, their faces illuminated by lines of code. Whiteboards were covered in complex diagrams and ambitious plans. Here, ideas were currency. Innovation was celebrated. For the first time since he returned to Nigeria, Dami felt like he was home. He started spending his evenings and weekends there, absorbing everything. He wasn't Dami the NYSC corper anymore. He was Dami the innovator. He met coders, graphic designers, and fellow entrepreneurs. He shared his idea for a streamlined logistics platform for small businesses, an idea born from watching the chaotic delivery systems on the streets of Lagos. People listened. They didn't call him the Yankee. They called him a visionary. His life became a double act. By day, he was the quiet employee at the corporate office, filing papers and enduring Mr. Adebayo's monologues. By night, he was the CEO of his own budding startup, leading a small, passionate team. The contrast was exhausting but exhilarating. The tired, frustrated look in his eyes was replaced by a spark, a fire that even his colleagues started to notice. He used his salary, the very money he earned from the job he despised, as seed funding. He learned to code, to manage a budget, to pitch to investors. He faced rejection, technical glitches, and moments of crippling self-doubt. There were nights he survived on instant noodles and sheer determination. But every small victory, every line of code that worked, every positive feedback from a potential user fueled his resolve. The turning point came 6 months later. His platform, which he named EcoConnect, was ready for a beta launch. His small team gathered at the tech hub, their eyes glued to a laptop screen as the first users signed up. 1, then 10, then 100. Small business owners were praising its simplicity and efficiency. It was working. It was really working. The day he resigned was not dramatic. He walked into Mr. Adebayo's office, placed a white envelope on the desk. The struggle didn't end, it changed shape. Clients, deadlines, responsibility. But this pressure felt honest. "Sir, I'm resigning. Thanks a bunch for the chance to work here." Mr. Adebayo looked up, a bit surprised. "Leaving so soon, Yankee?" "No, sir." He didn't tell him about EcoConnect. He didn't need the validation. As he walked out of the high-rise building for the last time, he didn't feel anger or bitterness. He felt a profound sense of gratitude. The frustration, the rigid structures, the dismissive boss, it had all been a catalyst. It had forced him to look beyond the obvious path and carve his own. Mr. Adebayo hadn't just been an obstacle. He had been the unlikely spark that ignited Dami's true potential. Dami Cole didn't exactly fire his boss, but you won't believe what happened. He totally ditched the idea of needing a boss. Like, who needs that? He became his own. Standing on the streets of Victoria Island, Dami took a deep breath of the humid Lagos air. The city no longer felt chaotic or overwhelming. It felt like a world of infinite possibilities. He was no longer a visitor or an outsider. Years later, Dami drove past the office. He was Damilola Cole, a son of Lagos, a builder, an innovator, and he was just getting started. Some bosses are not meant to promote you. They are meant to push you out of comfort. And sometimes, the greatest resignation is becoming who you were afraid to be.